What do you want with me?"
"My name is Shield, sir. Thomas Shield. My aunt, Mrs. Reynolds, wrote to you, and you were kind enough to say—"
"Yes, yes."
The Reverend Mr. Bransby held out a finger for me to shake. He stared me over, running his eyes from head to toe.
"You're not at all like her."
He led me up the path and through the open door into the panelled hall beyond. From somewhere in the building came the sound of chanting voices. He opened a door on the right and went into a room fitted out as a library, with a Turkey carpet and 2 windows overlooking the road. He sat down heavily in the chair behind the desk, stretched out his legs, and pushed 2 stubby fingers into his right-hand waistcoat pocket.
"You look fagged."
"I walked from London, sir. It was warm work."
"Sit down."
He took out an ivory snuff-box, helped himself to a pinch, and sneezed into a handkerchief spotted with brown stains.
"So you want a position, eh?"
"Yes, sir."
"And Mrs. Reynolds tells me that there are at least 2 good reasons why you are entirely unsuitable for any post I might be able to offer you."
"If you would permit me, I would endeavour to explain."
"Some would say that facts explain themselves. You left your last position without a reference. And, more recently, if I understand your aunt aright, you have been the next best thing to a bedlamite."
"I cannot deny either charge, sir. But there were reasons for my behaviour, and there are reasons why those episodes happened and why they will not happen again."
"You have 2 minutes in which to convince me."
"Sir, my father was an apothecary in the town of Rosington. His practice prospered, and one of his patrons was a canon of the cathedral who presented me to a vacancy at the grammar school. When I left there, I matriculated at Jesus College, Cambridge."
"You held a scholarship there?"
"No, sir. My father assisted me. He knew I had no aptitude for the apothecary's trade, and he intended me eventually to take holy orders. Unfortunately, near the end of my first year, he died of a putrid fever, and his affairs were found to be much embarrassed. So I left the university without taking my degree."
"What of your mother?"
"She had died when I was a lad. But the master of the grammar school, who had known me as a boy, gave me a job as an assistant usher, teaching the younger boys. All went well for a few years, but, alas, he died, and his successor did not look so kindly on me." I hesitated, for the master had a daughter named Fanny, the memory of whom still brought me pain. "We disagreed, sir. That was the long and the short of it. I said foolish things I instantly regretted."
"As is usually the case,"
Bransby said. "It was then April 1815, and I fell in with a recruiting sergeant." He took another pinch of snuff.
"Doubtless he made you so drunk that you practically snatched the king's shilling from his hand and went off to fight the monster Bonaparte single-handed. Well, sir, you give me ample proof that you are a foolish, headstrong young man who has a belligerent nature and cannot hold his liquor. And now shall we come to Bedlam?"
I squeezed the thick brim of my hat until it bent under the pressure. "Sir, I was never there in my life." He scowled.
"Mrs. Reynolds writes that you were placed under restraint and lived for a while in the care of a doctor. Whether in Bedlam itself or not is immaterial. How came you to be in such a state?"
"Many men had the misfortune to be wounded in the late war. It so happened that I was wounded in my mind as well as in my body."
"Wounded in the mind? You sound like a school miss with the vapours. Why not speak plainly? Your wits were disordered."
"I was ill, sir. Like one with a fever. I acted imprudently."
"Imprudent? Good God, is that what you call it? I understand you threw your Waterloo medal at an officer of the Guards in Rotten Row."
"I regret it excessively, sir." He sneezed, and his little eyes watered.
"It is true that your aunt, Mrs. Reynolds, was the best housekeeper my parents ever had. As a boy I never had any reason to doubt her veracity or indeed her kindness. But those 2 facts do not necessarily encourage me to allow a lunatic and a drunkard a position of authority over the boys entrusted to my care."
"Sir, I am neither of those things." He glared at me.
"A man, moreover, whose former employers will not speak for him."
"But my aunt speaks for me. If you know her, sir, you will know she would not do that lightly." For a moment, neither of us spoke. Through the open window came the clop of hooves from the road beyond. A fly swam noisily.